Welcome back to Imagination Station Network. We are back here in the Kelso headquarters. And today I'm very fortunate that we have another guest, and we've been trying to get to be on the show for a while, and I'm glad you said yes. So, welcome to the show. But before we start, how are you doing today?
I'm grand. How are you?
Good, I'm good. I just think that it's important that people, and creatives especially, like just ask each other how we're doing. Because you can get through the day and you can struggle.
It's quite a lonely job in
It
ways.
is.
Because you are doing it all yourself.
That's it.
So it's good to have pals and people in the same kind of community as you to kind of check in with. Because sometimes, like, you speak to somebody that maybe does, you know, a maybe really logical job, like a 9 to 5 in an accountant's, and they don't really understand
I find
the
like,
same level of burnout or the same type of burnout that maybe we
creative
get.
burnout is something different, isn't it? I'm glad you said that. So, first of all, if you introduce yourself, just let everybody know who you are, what you do.
Hi, I'm Bea. I am a family and wedding photographer in North Northumberland in the Scottish borders, and I'm quite creative all round. I do sort of acting on the side, and I love being in this space, and it's the way my brain works, and I've worked really hard to get here.
Good for you, and we're going to find that out as well. You know, Bee's one of those people. So we've been doing this nearly 5 years, and I've been watching like we gigs that you get and stuff, and as you were growing into the business that you're now, and it's if nobody else tells you, it's inspirational for somebody like me who just sits on the sideline and watches sometimes, because there's growth in that. There's growth in watching people like you, and we're fortunate that you and our team photographer Nicole have also came together. We didn't do that. You did that, and you and Nicole are going to work great together, and that's the journey I like to see. But if I tell you that not many people are able to do that, and I don't know why.
I find that disappointing though.
It is disappointing.
Because it feels very like I was sort of saying to you before about gatekeeping. There's no rhyme or reason for it. There's space for everybody, and actually we should be holding and pushing each other up. Like, I'm really lucky on my socials and sort of friends. I've got photographer friends in America. I've got photographer friends that are up and down the country, and I've been really lucky in the spaces that I'm in that it is really supportive. It is really understanding. There's room for everyone. Like, I'll get a text at 11 o'clock at night from a photographer friend I've got in Carlisle, and she'd be like, I don't know how to fix this. Can you fix this? And I'm the same with her. And I don't understand the gatekeeping side of it. There's no reason to not lift each other up or help each other. You're not taking away from you by giving to somebody else. In fact, you're actually probably leveling you up a little bit by doing that.
Enhancing the whole process. Like I say, we're not just here in the world to procreate and die. See that, and that sounds extreme. I'm bouncing for one thing to another, but it's the same thing. There's that middle bit, and that middle bit's important. So my granny used to say, never forget your arse, because when you get to a certain level, you need to remember the people and be kind is the
What would you have wanted when you started?
Exactly.
What advice were you looking for? And I think because a lot of us do start on our own, and a lot of us are self-taught, and we start from nothing and we get there, there's almost like an element of, well, I had to do the hard work, I'm not going to give it to you. Whereas these people, they're still learning. You're just helping them.
You've put it in the way that I always constantly say in the podcast. You've put it in the way that that's the way I'm thinking.
I think there's a little bit of jealousy. There's a little bit of like,
exactly.
Well, I didn't get that opportunity, so I'm not going to give it to you.
Yes.
Where for me, I would have, like you were saying with Nicole, when I was in that part of my journey, I would have loved for somebody else to take me under their wing a little bit and give me some opportunities that I could help out in and things like that. I would have loved that. So there's no reason for me in my head to not give that out to her. And she's amazing. Nicole's fantastic.
Good kid, man. Good kid. We are very fortunate that we have her as a team photographer, and it's good to have like, again in young inspirational people like her, and we've got a young girl, Lindsay, who does the website. I'm all about the evolution. If Jaguar 82 is to become something, then it needs to evolve with the people that are in it, and that includes youngsters. So it's well done to you for doing that. There's some things that you can't learn in schools, there's some things that you can't learn for these people, but I often think, because like I always say, you can't sit on the pity pot for too long, because you know the only thing you get around that's a ring around your bum and nobody show it to you. But it's like when you go there, you have to think to yourself, why are they? I mean, thinking like, were you doing that the same when you were coming through the ranks, and you're like, but no, a wee bit of help would be great, and you can't help but think, why are they not helping us? And then you go into the me's, and you're like, well, why me?
Am I not good enough? Is it my work? And maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe 100%. This isn't my calling. Yeah. When actually, their response to you is nothing to do with you.
And that thought process is the reason why you're in the job. Mm-hmm. But when you're going through the motions like that, you can't help but think that.
Yeah.
And that's an important part of the journey. So if there's anybody listening there that's thinking that, we're less than 5 minutes in, and B's already went in and on her own volition and said, that's part of the journey. That's part of the whole.
And it never stops either.
No.
You will always, no matter what level of your career or your journey or whatever, you're always going to be at that point of, maybe I shouldn't be doing this, maybe I'm not good enough. And I think sometimes it's really useful to look back. Like I look back at, so when you're going on your Facebook memories and things, and you look back and you see maybe like a job that 2-3 years ago you were really proud of, and like you were posting about and being like, look at what I did, look how amazing I am. And then you look at it now and you think, oh God, what was I thinking? Did I deliver that to a client? Oh my God.
It's as if you've just been in my Facebook this morning, because that's exactly what I did when I was trying
to... Oh really? Like, no, this happened. It happened to me yesterday. I was looking at this picture and I remember posting it. I remember the way I felt and thought, that's really artsy. That's really good. Go me, pat on the back. And then I looked at it yesterday with where I am now, and like you say, the journey that I've been on, and finding my style and my editing style and how I want to be. And I looked at it and thought, I mean, it's all right. I wouldn't voluntarily post it now. It's not what I would do with it now.
It's the growth process, though, isn't it? It's like we get to look back, and we don't live there.
No.
Because it's happened. But we go back and we look and go, that's how that happened. Because I don't know if you were, but when you look at that and you think, I do that now. And I don't do that now, and I certainly don't do that, and that's part of the process as well. So let's go back to, if you've watched the podcast, I'm interested in Weeby. I'm interested in where us. See, I'm that used to not putting myself in the same category, because like I didn't include myself as a creative till I was about maybe 2-3 years in, and it's because of all the people above, like no giving you help and no doing that. So I'll put myself back there. We as creatives, I want to know how we've ended up this way. It's like some people are naturally born with it. Some people are, I don't know, they just fall into it. And then there's the ones who grow into it.
I think when I started, I was, 13, 14 when I started getting into photography. And it starts with, you're with all your pals, you've got the webcam on your horrible little laptop, and you're taking posy pictures and stuff. But I loved taking photos. I just loved capturing moments. I loved doing little photo shoots with my friends and stuff. And I think my journey's very much been there's been an element of like, I like doing this and I'm good at it, but it needed the work. Yeah. I needed to practice. I did study photography at A-level, but it was mainly film photography. When it comes to digital photography, I'm self-taught. I would love to go and eventually maybe do a degree. Wow. But it's not necessarily, well, obviously it's not needed for me to be in this job and do my job good and effectively. But it took work, it takes experimentation, it takes making mistakes and doing things wrong, which is a hard pill to swallow when you are a perfectionist and you want things to be right. And also if you're impatient, and me and my best friend Abby that you had on a couple of weeks ago, we talk about this all the time of like this need to be, if I'm not perfect at it the first time I do it, I'm quitting.
Oh, I have that attitude.
And it's such like a difficult thing to get past, because you look at other people's work and like they say, comparison is the thief of joy. You look at other people's work and you're like, well, why can't I make my stuff look like that? And actually it takes work, it takes practice, it takes getting stuff wrong. And when you find the solution to that problem and you think it's been in front of me the whole time, but then you've finally done it and you kind of go up a level and it just carries on and carries on. So as much as I could say I've always loved it, I've always been good at it, I think there's been an element of I've always had an eye. I think I've always had like an idea of composition without necessarily being taught it. But in terms of editing, colouring, at the end of the day, my job, as much as I think some people might think it's just clicking a shutter, printing and sending it off, there is hours and hours of colour grading, composition work, you know, light. Essentially my job is working with light.
Yeah, 100%.
And figuring out how to use that and get the best out of the information that you're getting from a digital output. And that's an artwork in itself. And I think that's something maybe, as well as like general public that aren't photographers, but sometimes photographers forget as well, like this is art. You are doing quite intense artwork. You're playing with light and colour.
And it's a digital age, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, I would say I think I've always had an eye for composition, but definitely it's taken a lot of hard work and graft to get to the level. And like I said to you before, I'm not done yet, and I'm never going to be done. There's always going to be new.
That's good to hear as well.
There's going to be new trends. There's going to be new technology. There's going to be, you know, like a few years ago we wouldn't have had. I know that influencers,
there's only a few kicking about at that time.
You wouldn't have even had like. I know there's a difficult conversation at the minute with AI and art, but you've not had AI involved that can maybe do a better job than you in seconds, and you're kind of fighting with that, or you're using it to help you, or, you know, and it's constantly evolving and you've got to evolve with it. So the growth is never going to stop. It just, you have to keep on.
That's an important part. You know, I always say, like, folk will be sick of hearing me say it, but there's fear in it, and there's an element of fear, and there's risk. And the growth as well is the biggest part, but you don't realise you're growing. You don't until you look back. You look at think of yourself as a wee plant. You know, you don't notice the plant's literally growing until it sprouts at the top, and that's the truth on it. Is like, and I like that what you said about what was it you said about people looking at other folks' stuff. Oh, comparison is the thief of joy. I've never heard that. But
Have you not?
Because it's just like I'm out in the wild. It's just me.
I couldn't tell you who said it. I'll look it up and send it to you. But great. It's quite a popular quote of like, and also like I talk about this with my friends all the time, and it's people only ever share their highlight reel. People, especially on socials in this day and age, people are only showing their best bits when they've done a really good job, when things are going great for them. No one's ever going to show the burnout. No one's ever going to show that they're thinking they're not enough, or they're not good enough, or when they've done a rubbish job, or when they've made a mistake. People aren't sharing that, so you can feel really lonely in it, when actually, really, if we were honest with ourselves, everyone's there. Yeah, that loneliness part is a creative. You're probably the first one that we've interviewed that is a big part, and that's I'm relatively calm today. And it's like when you meet a creative who's freely giving the stuff away, but two totally different jobs, but same thinking and same process, which to me has evolved me just sitting in the last 5 minutes by thinking, you know, phrases and words really hit me deep because they resonate to where you are at any point in your journey, and that's why, like the podcast, like I said, it's not about me. It's not about me, but I am here on this journey with people, and we want to showcase. And I hope you don't mind me saying, like, I've been watching for a while. Like, even when I first started, I don't understand cameras and stuff. You see me mess about with all this earlier, but I'm getting there, and I'm willing to try. When I was watching how you got the light and stuff, and I was a bit lazy, and I went. It's weird because yesterday was the photos that I was looking at for a few years back. And I just hit the auto button on the phone, and I'm like, that looks great. No, I look back and go, it doesn't. It's like high pitched the colours. Everybody's a different colour. It's like, what happened? And it's because looking at folks' photos. And don't get me wrong. There is a time and place for auto settings, but taking the time to really look at what's in front of you and get the best out of something. But again, it takes practice, it takes work. I think as well, as somebody like myself who is autistic and ADHD, it's not necessarily the quickest options. It's possibly the easiest way in order to offload hundreds of photos at once, but it wasn't the right way. If I was to go back on them, because I was making space on my phone, and I was looking back and I was thinking, wow. And it's crazy how, like, and I'll just tell you how we had be on a list. There's a lot of yous want on the podcast, and we will get to yous in email, but I had picked 10
You've noticed I've got whiteboards everywhere. But I've got a wee board and it has 10 people with 2 substitutes. And when you had messaged it that day, and Jan goes on the lives, and I'm like, Jan, like, literally and we went down the stairs. Says, you wouldn't believe that when you're on this journey, the people who are reaching out and being there, we've kind of been there together, but no speaking to each other. Like, I've seen shows you've been in, I've watched your journey, and the same as the other people on the podcast. And that's important that we tell people, because there's an unspoke about energy that runs through the world.
Yeah.
I can't explain why you were on there that live at that very minute when we had literally just spoke about it. Me and Jan down the stairs, like, it's just meant to happen.
Yeah.
And it's like, when you put that good stuff out there, good people are put in your path. And I always do the boat analogy. So the boat analogy is, you're the captain of your ship, and it's up to you who you let on. And some people will come and join your crew, and then some people you'll let on and they will cause mutiny. So what's it like as somebody who has done it by themselves? Because, like you say, we're solo creatives. What's it been like? Like, what's some highs and lows of your job, past tense, I know?
So highs is I get such a satisfaction out of my job. I mean, especially when it comes to, like, well, what I do families and weddings. But on a wedding day, knowing that you're capturing memories that are going to be fed down for generations, that these aren't just like photos that people stick on social media. These are photos that, you know, in 3 generations time, it's going to be, well, this is when your grandma and granddad got married. You know, and I find that really important, and I find it an honor that people trust me with that. And I mean, I think I'm finally at a point now where I'm not getting like anxiety attacks before a wedding, because I used, my first wedding that I did, I was up all night.
I bet you were.
I was shaking. I was like having anxious, like, stomach problems. And my friend, it was Abby actually, who took me, and we honestly didn't think I was going to get through it. And this was literally, it was a tiny little ceremony in a registry office. We weren't going anywhere after. It was just to do that. And I was beyond sick. And now, you know, I'm in a part of my career where I'm doing 9+ hour, big day, big venue weddings. And it's no longer getting to me as much. But yeah, that's like the highlights. And it's like you say, being able to be part of the community as well. Like, I get asked to kind of come and photograph different events and things, which is really, really nice. In terms of low points, I think the loneliest part is the burnout. When you've worked so hard for so long, and being in a creative job, it's such a mental tax. You are constantly thinking, and you want it to be perfect, because you've got this vision in your head of what you want it to look like, or what you think it should look like. And if you don't get it there, and you can't understand why you can't get it there, it's so frustrating, because you know you can, because you can see it. And I think the burnout from that is really hard. And I'm somebody I'm quite introverted, as much as it might not look like I am on the outside. I'm very introverted. So recharging is a big thing that I need to do. And being self-employed and in a creative job, and I have 2 kids, recharging is quite an issue. There's not a lot of space for that recharge. And yeah, that's a really lonely time, because you kind of feel like you're the only one going through it, and nobody gets it, and there's nobody that you can say, because I think a lot of people just go, well, you're just sticking a filter on something. And it's I'm spending anywhere between, I could be 5 minutes on a photograph, or I could be an hour on a photograph. And
it doesn't matter what, like you just said there, it doesn't matter what part of the creative, you're always going to get that. Like, somebody said to me, it's just a character. That won't take you long. And I'm like,
really?
Do you know the mental process that goes through a creative's mind in order to get, you got to get out of bed, you got to do that, you got to do, you got to get kids ready.
Yeah. And I don't know about you, but I've got a huge thing with self-motivation. Like, I work from home, and I find it really difficult to sit in my office at home and sit down and work, because I'm like, right, well, the washing downstairs needs done, and this needs done, there's dishes sitting, there's the grass needs cut, this needs done, I need to go shopping. And
see, I don't do all them, and it's I don't have a cleaner, and it's not through no wanty. Like like you said, burnout happens quite a lot, but being a neurodivergent, I'm a dopamine hunter.
Yeah,
it has to be. I think I said to you down the stairs, what's your partner's name?
But David.
So like I was saying to David and you down the stairs that like I'm motivating myself as well. It has to be exciting.
Yeah.
So I have to make it exciting, which means sometimes I'm doom scrolling and it's like, that's not getting anything done, James, but you're trapped in there. People don't understand what it's like as a neurodivergent and a creative. You're like, and this is, folk are always like, oh, but you have to eat. And I'm like, see, if you're referring to money doesn't make me go round, man. It's like, I told you, I've got £48 in my bag. I'm no shy at telling folk, money doesn't make me go round. Coming here and meeting other creatives I've found, that's where the motivation comes. And that's where like I'm excited. Like last night I was like, right, and I never plan it. I'll be honest, I put the wee board there and I wrote some things on the day because I don't know how I'm going to be on the day.
Yeah.
Where was I going with that? Big
burnout
circle round burnout. So it's like tidying up and stuff. Like I've got a Jan, so Jan and our husband Ian they're my best pals. Is like, and sometimes Jan has to go shopping for me because I won't say, and it's like that. I'm in that creative world, and it's like you need to be careful because you can go too far in,
and you lose time as well.
Time blindness.
Like I'm really bad for saying, right, are you all sorted here? You got the kids and stuff, right? I really need to go and sit for a good 3-4 hours and really sit and edit. And then David will come up the stairs and it's been like 8. And he'll be like, do you want anything to eat? And I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah, because you get, I think as well, once you get in a zone and you get in a focus, and it's like, you don't want to break that because it's so hard to sometimes get into that zone. It's like once you're in it,
you don't want to come out it.
You don't want to come out it. You want to keep going, because when I stop and I come away from this, I'm going to find it really hard to get back.
It's a tough one.
It is tough.
Like, see for yourself, I think I've said this to Nicole. I see you training people. I said that before you came. I said, you know, the people with the man, and like I say in all the podcasts, I'm not here to blow smoke at your backside. I'm just here because you've volunteered your time to come here and showcase, to try and inspire the people who are hiding behind the couch, or people who are burned out when they're doing their thing. And is that your phone?
No, mine should be on silent.
Oh no, that's yours. There it is. See these creatives. These creatives are always working. So if somebody's watching this, the clock never stops. Take that business when you can. See, the other day when I was recording, it was my laptop, and I'm like, "Is that yours?" And I was like, "Oh, it's mine."
Do you know what? It's the fact that before we sat down, I said to you, "I'm going to put my phone on silent because I can guarantee you all the messages will start coming through as soon as I'm on." I told you it would happen.
This is a natural thing for people to come. It's I see you guiding. The fact is that you've reached out and you've got Nicole there. That's somebody who would be able to teach. I don't like that word, teach. Guide people through their journey of creative, and it's important that we showcase. But that's where I was going. Like you, by the way, I will come back to whatever it was I was going there. But you're one of the strong. Like I class you as one of the strong creative women in this area, and I don't mind saying this. And me and Jan talk about this all the time. Is like, the strong women don't get showcased enough in this area. I don't just mean the Scottish Borders or Berwick upon Tweed. I mean, I see how much you put into things, and like, I'm only just new as an influencer. I know how much goes into the videos.
Yeah.
Even the back videos to show you doing the videos to do that. That's impressive. But we can often think that people don't see it. People see it. And I often hear people say, "Oh, but you're only getting like I think I said that a few weeks ago, you're only getting like 100 views." Do you know how hard it is to get in front of 100 people and show them what you do? Yeah. Like I focus on the bigger picture now, instead of like when it gets to that lonely time and you're thinking, what can I do? People should always leave you in a higher way than when they came in, if that makes sense. And that's what we try and do at Jaguar 82. People only see it as, oh, that's your name. That's the only thing I'm precious of. Yeah. Because my mother's no longer here, so I'm born James Alexander Gaffney. Art was how we started this, and unfortunately I'm born in 1982. And that's it. So, I like Kerr Photography, and I've seen the evolution as well. I like to say this. I see the evolution of the company logo and stuff.
Yeah.
See, for me, that, like, you put a hangout the other day, and I was like, that's impressive, because to see somebody's company logo morph into what it is now, and you've been watching it for a wee while. It's like, that's it, man.
I think because it started, my logo was just like a quick Canva thing, and I was like, oh well, I'll just stick this and that looks all right. And then you obviously grow in your career and you grow in your brand, and then you're thinking, how can every photographer in the world has like a little outline camera as their logo, and it's like, well, how can I be different? So obviously my business is Kerr Photography, but my name is B. I mean, it's not, it's Bethany, but don't say
Bethany. I was going to ask you, man. I was going to say Beatrice or Beatrice.
No, Bethany.
So
Bethany. It got shortened to just the letter B when I was a teenager, because it was, do you know the old phones, we had to press the numbers a certain amount of times to get a letter?
Yes.
Well, you would sit. Well, my mum couldn't be bothered to put Bethany in a text, so it just turned to B. But people didn't understand just the letter B, so then to avoid people thinking it was Beatrice, which would be BEA. BEE. So then that's when the Bumblebee logo came from, and then it was talking with other photographers and things, and seeing a lot of other photographers were actually using photos of themselves as their kind of brand image, along with their like the typing as well. And I put a question out on my Facebook saying, do people think that a picture of me with my logo or just my logo should be, and the overwhelming response was both.
It's a 50-50, but I think people want to see who they're getting.
That's a big a personal touch.
I've already been down a rabbit hole with that, and that's how it was nice to see. So, like, I don't want to be the face of this, but I am, and there's no getting away from it. But
it's about what you get, like, so with yourself, you're all about giving to others and being a community, and like you say, like it's not what is benefiting you, it's what's benefiting everybody. So it makes more sense for you to be more just like about the logo and things like that, whereas I think with me, it being more of a solo job, and when you book me, you are getting me.
Well, I never put a post on, but also if people haven't met you and they don't know you and you've been recommended, if you're going to go meet them, they want to know what you look like.
Yes.
Because when I go and meet folk for businesses, and I'm like, is that them over there? Or is that them?
Yeah.
And I talk to folk, but I'm insecure. I'm like, hello, hi, and I'm James, and they're like, and who are you? And they're like, oh, we're over here.
Oh, yeah.
Because you don't know, that's another thing that...
Especially for me, I'm usually meeting people in the middle of nowhere for a photo shoot, so it's kind of like, I kind of need to know what you look like, and you need to know what I look like.
It's funny because people are their business logo. It's like when you see a dog and you say, like, oh, they look like their dog, in the most in the most kindest way, man. It's like, it's
you
true.
And your dog match a vibe. Yeah.
You and your logo match. Usually it has to represent your company. So we've heard a wee bit about the past and the struggles, but it's an interesting job, because there's other photographers out there. Yeah. Massive photographers out there, but it's all about how and what separates them to Kerr Photography. But you've got a unique style of social media as well. I like the way you conduct your social media, and if you've no, we'll put a wee bit in the post, but it's is your social media the same? Is it Kerr Photography or B?
It's Kerr Photography,
Kerr
on
Photography.
Most of it.
Yeah, on all the platforms. So, and it's nice because I like when I'm scrolling and I'm uploading stuff, and I like to see a collective of different social medias that are delivered different. Because as somebody who's away up there, I'm everywhere. When I have the calm moments, it's nice to see. But what an area to be a photographer as well. What's your favourite part of? I know you shouldn't.
Oh, that's a hard question.
What's the? Let's do it a different way. Then. There's always another way.
Don't put me on the spot.
Let's say, what's your favourite moment that you've captured for you on camera?
I was actually talking about this yesterday, because I did an interview yesterday with a wedding celebrant.
Brilliant.
And we were talking about this. We shared. We were at the same wedding, and it was a celebrant wedding instead of a registrar wedding, which is always a little bit more personal. It was really nice, but the couple stood differently to any other wedding that I've been at. And instead of, so usually they're at the top of the aisle facing each other, and the celebrant will be in the middle, or the registrar. But with this one, Milky, the celebrant, she was standing kind of off to the side,
Right.
and the couple were kind of opposite her but holding hands, so they were like right next to each other. And I got this photograph, and it was of the couple, and it was Gary, the husband, and he just was soaking in his wife to be, and he just went down and he kissed her on the neck really delicately, and I caught that. And it's one of my favourite photos because it was they weren't concentrating, they were just giggling and laughing and soaking each other in. And it was such a perfect moment to get.
Love,
And at the same wedding, one of the bride's goals was to make her stepdad cry as much as possible. Apparently this is the one thing she said to the celebrant. I want to make him cry. And she did. And I've got this photo of him, and he's in bits, and he's wiping his tears away, and his wife is like holding him by the head and like keeping him close, and it's just that's what I live for, is like those real true moments. The way that I approach a wedding is very laid back anyway. Like, I'll be as involved or as uninvolved as you want me to be. Some couples, they want a bit more direction because they're nervous or they don't know how to be in front of the camera. And then in that scenario, I will give a bit more direction. But there's some couples that they don't even want it to look like I've been interfering at all. And I'm happy to go with either. But those raw moments that aren't posed, aren't planned, those are the best. The best bits, and that's what people look back and they go, I can remember how I felt. Yeah,
you're capturing the moment, but it's immortalisation. You're immortalising them in a photo. That's the reason why I got into acting, is like to be immortalised, but not in the God sense. Like somebody, when I'm passed away, not anytime soon, like, and somebody will be watching it back and they'll be like, oh, remember that guy? It's the same as like the clothes I wear, and like somebody will remember us. So you've got probably the most important job at a wedding, apart from the guy with the rings.
Apart from the couple themselves.
Oh, aye, the couple, listen, everyone's getting married.
That's what I say to people though, like when we were saying before about like, you know, you're getting me at a wedding. I am the vendor that's probably going to be in most close contact with the couple for the entirety of their day. They need to get on with me. They need to vibe with me. And sometimes maybe I'm not your vibe, and that's fine. I'm so happy that you can go find somebody else. But like you said with my socials, the amount of people that have booked me because they've seen me on TikTok and they've not even looked at my portfolio, and they've gotten in touch with me purely out of just watching my behind the scenes of a wedding, and they've went, yeah, I want you, and then they'll look at my portfolio and then they'll go on and
that's
book.
a testament to you, like I say, a testament to you and what you do. It's real life, it's natural. There's a reason, like I'm usually away up here with interviews, like me and Flossie, we're the same people. Like we're both ADHD, like, so the energy was like, but with people like yourself, it's very relaxed and talking, and it's nice to have somebody on the couch that's like that. And I imagine that's why the people pick you for your wedding, because you've got a natural aura of, and I imagine you're very accommodating, but at the same time, to tell them that this is how your photos are going to turn out, that you need to be as natural yourself. So it's nice. Thanks for coming to the studio as well. Everybody seems to think that it's something that it isn't, but it is. This is it.
It's cute.
And we have
I like it a lot.
We have a bright light, and I picked the top floor because I get a view outside. And so again, I'm going after me. When I realise that I'm so calm, I start to go back up and go right. Is this? But as I say, it's not my interview, it's for you. So we came to a show, and a mutual friend, Robert, and we came to his show, and it was the one where it was Lord Lambton.
Yes. And Norma Levy.
Very different beat. I enjoyed that. And
Did you?
I was the only one laughing when nobody else was laughing, and I find comfort in that.
Yeah.
That means that I'm different for everybody in the room. And I said that, like, I went to one of Robert's other shows and I didn't like it. But that's how art is, that's how performers are. Maybe it could be your headspace at the time, but that one, I really enjoyed that. And it's, if you watched any of my reviews, I'm quite introverted as well, but I'm also a hard person to please because I'm constantly thinking of how would they want me to perceive that. But see, when it's natural like that, me and Jan still talk about that performance.
Really?
We loved it. I literally, and even all the rude stuff, I was like, that's great, because I'm not really into politics, but I kind of knew a wee bit of the story, and I went in blind, and I was like, hey, that was epic. Well done.
I knew nothing of it going into that. None of the scandal of Lord Lambton and Norma Levy. I knew nothing. And then got cast as Norma Levy, a woman of the night.
Mm-hmm.
And it's quite an interesting feeling for somebody to come up to you afterwards and go, you made such a good job of being a prostitute. And I'm like, thank you so much, I think. But yeah, it was fun. There's one thing I like about acting. I don't have to be me for a little while, which I think is another thing that a lot of like creative people can, what's the word I'm looking for?
Lose themselves in a character.
Yeah, just like, they can have empathy with, I guess, like taking 5 minutes, because I think we can all get trapped in our own heads, or a lot of us have been through stuff in our lives, and the creativity is an outlet for that. So I don't think I know many creatives that don't have some level of like trauma or something like that.
Trauma menu.
So it's an outlet. It's doing something that is cathartic, and you don't. I used to love acting as a kid and being in productions at school and things like that, because I didn't have to be me. It was an hour of time where I could be anybody else, and I had full control to a certain degree of how that was going to pan out. And the good thing with Rob and his plays is that he does give you that freedom to experiment, especially in the latest one we did, Bite Radius. That was a brand new play, and we got to make these characters. We got to take them and make them into life. Whereas with the last play, it being a true story, based on a true story, it was, I could take and run with what I thought Norma would be like, but also there was a bit of like, but it has to kind of, this did happen.
Yeah, it did actually.
This really did happen.
We cried at the end.
Yeah,
we were emotional at the end. Like I get it. I like going to Bali. But I cry, and I don't mind saying I'm a guy that cries. I get emotionally attached because I'm there and I'm in the moment. And it's the same when I see people who like their careers and stuff. Like I'm a very emotionally intact person, and when people are growing and you hear their story of how they grew, it's like you have an emotional attachment to the business and the person, and that's what it's like. As an actor as well, is like, again, hiding in plain sight. I totally resonate with that. And if MD's listening on the Spotify, B's wearing a green outfit, which it actually matches. You know, I'm all about matching.
I'm in with the greenery.
You're in with the green at the back. And colours are a big thing for me. I imagine there you obviously being a photographer, but colours are a big thing. Colours, because you can be seen or you can not be seen.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell a wee quick story about how I go and sit. We've got a few wee galleries, big ones, small ones. They're just there. They help support what we do. But sometimes I go incognito and I don't wear bright clothes, or I don't wear glasses, and I just, me and my wee bald head, we just go there and I drink my cup of tea. And what I hear is horrible. People and how they're tarnishing the art that's there, and it just so happens to be ours, because there's not just me, there's other artists that are in, and that's a hard pill to swallow. But I'm nearly 5 years into it. It is, but in the same turn, for every person who does that, there'll be somebody who likes it. We don't confess to be the best, but there's growth in that. I mean, there's many
room
a time
for everyone.
Many a time I would have gone home and I'd have been like you said, what's it worth? But now I'm alright with that. And I imagine the reason I'm asking that is because I'm in my mind, I'm picturing when these people are going through their wedding album. And do you pick their photos, or do they have to pick them?
So no, I edit all the ones that are usable. That's what I would say.
Again, that's only new to me, because Nicole said that, and I'm like, oh, they're not all usable. No ignorance, just no knowing how it works.
You get there's blurry, maybe there's a shadow, maybe it's just they were pulling a horrible face at the time, they're blinking. Especially when you're more of like a laid back, relaxed photographer and you're not very posy. There's a lot, like, I think people don't understand. Like, I could finish a wedding and I've taken almost like 3,000, 4,000 images at a wedding, but sometimes out of that 4,000 I'm only delivering maybe 300.
You need a mini fridge in your wee room so you can eat in there. There's a solution, David.
Honest, yeah, get on that mini fridge in my office. But yeah, I think people expect you to give everything that you took, and it's what we call in the industry like a cull. You go through and you get rid of all the images that aren't usable, all the blurry ones, all the silly faces, all the ones that the composition's completely off. Like, you get rid of all those and you're left with your contendas and you edit all of that, and that's what you send.
In my mind there, I've got like you, Simon Cowell, just going through all them ones that can get through to the next Britain's Got Talent. Aye.
The whole way through, but it is, and it's a lot of pressure as well, because if you're going through and you're thinking, okay, well, I wouldn't personally want that photo, but maybe they will. It's the same as like sometimes my least favourite photo from a session is the one that they love the most.
Right.
And so
yeah, you have to let them.
You have to let them pick into a certain degree. So it's my favourite feeling in the world is seeing like a couple or like, you know, clients that you'll nip on their social media and they've made a photograph of yours, like their cover photo or their profile picture. That's like that's the best payment. That's
totally
like, I love that. But then sometimes like there's been a couple where it's been my least favourite photo of and they've edited it. That's a big, by the way, big no. Don't do that. Love you all. Please don't do that.
Or block us.
Yeah, block me. Block me. Don't. Yeah. But yeah, sometimes it'll be my least favourite photo from the session, and the one that I was like disappointed in myself for, and I'll see that that's the one that they've used and the one that they love the most, and I'm like,
back to
okay,
the people sitting tarnishing the art. It's the same.
It's everybody's taste is completely different, and my eye is different from your eye, and it's different from everybody. So your art might not be for everyone, but like you said, there are people that, and then that other person will like somebody maybe you don't like. There's
a hidden one I'm going to share with you. I don't really share these ones, but I feel it's the time. Or somebody who didn't like your art 4 years ago, and then you find out they bought one of your paintings.
Yeah.
That's and I will get a conversation with them because I'm humble. I don't hold grudges or anything. I just like to know what that one did that the other ones didn't.
Yeah.
I'm interested. I'm a curious human being. I always have been for a small kid. I was telling you a story about the tea. It's like I'm curious, man. So I'm also curious about how creatives, more so yourself because you're sitting on the couch, how do you unwind? And if anybody's watching who wants to be a photographer as well, is like, how do you unwind? How do you get self-care? Because that's part of the journey.
Yeah. I read a lot. I'm a bit like Flossie. Like I read. I love reading. Always have. I run.
Oh.
I'm actually doing Edinburgh Marathon next year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I know.
That's unreal.
Which I was so excited for when I put in for the ballot, and then as soon as I was accepted, I was like, what have I done?
The fear.
What have I done? But yeah, I'm running that for Papyrus, prevention of young suicide next year. And yeah, it's just, but I am a victim of a doom scroll, I have to say. I'm really, really bad for that. But yeah, just sitting, chilling, watching a television series that I've watched a million times, like something that's like not taking brain space to necessarily do.
And scrolling at the same time.
And scrolling at the same. Oh yeah, obviously. I've got Red Dwarf in the background, and I'm scrolling. Do you know what? You're the second person that I've spoken to in a week that also likes Red Dwarf.
The ship on my desk.
Honestly, meant to be. But yeah, it's just winding down, taking some time. I like sort of doing meditative practices, a lot of breathing, a lot of sitting, emptying my head.
I find that a lot of creatives, like, we don't get enough of it because we are the business. We're
switched
the people
on all the time.
Meditation is a thing that I struggle with, but I enjoy it when I do it. 5 minutes is about all you'll get.
Yeah.
But I get up at like 4 a.m. and I go to the beach, and everybody's like, that's crazy that time. I'm like,
it's
but
quiet.
There's nobody else there.
Yeah.
There's nobody else there. But I enjoy it, man. It's like it's all about it's all about you, but it's also about the people who have yet to find. I know there's loads of people out there that want to be photographers, but they haven't taken the plunge yet. And I always, if you read the wee captions at the end of every podcast, I always say that, you know, if you've not heard your episode yet, I'm 99% sure that by the time we finish all these, you'll hear your episode and the one that inspires you. And reach out when you get that if you can. If not, just go about your wee journey, man, and do your thing.
I think, like you said before, that taking the plunge, it's the scariest move to take, but it's probably the one that's going to reap you the most benefits. So for me, I left a job. I left a job. I was doing this on the side. Never thought it was going to be more than just doing it on the side. Wanted it to be. That was the end goal.
Side hustle.
Yeah, it was just a side hustle, and then I had to leave this job, and my husband was like, just do it, make a go of it. That you've got nothing lined up to go into, so just put all your eggs into this basket. I know that's not an option for everyone. I was really lucky that we were in a position that I could do that, and I did not expect it to take off the way it did. I think I could say it was just luck, but it is hard work. It is putting in the graft. It is, like I said before, making mistakes, getting things wrong, experimenting. The best bit of advice for young budding photographers: get out and take photos, make mistakes, try stuff. I did a lot of work for pennies or for free just to get my name out there a little bit, just to establish relationships and network with people. But the best bit of advice I can say is get out and shoot just anything and everything. Get your pals involved if you want to do portraits and stuff. Build up a wee portfolio, because that's all you need. And
keep your old stuff as well, because like we're saying, it comes back round. Like old photos, people like it, and they might not like it now, but they will. It'll come back round. I'm
thinking, actually, the more we've talked about it, I'm thinking about maybe going back, looking at my old stuff, taking the raw files from my old stuff, and how would I do it now, and seeing the difference.
That's good. It would make good footage as well for your social medias. Like, I'd like to see that. I have a dumping ground there and down the stairs, and there's all old stuff, and often bring it out and have a wee look.
Like, how would you change it? How would you do it differently now?
And it's like you say, don't just take your first go at it either.
No, as much as it's difficult to sit and, like I said before, you want to be perfect that first time around.
But it doesn't work like that.
No.
But also ask for help. I like how you say that there. Like, it is certainly no easy. But it's worth it if you just take that wee plunge, man. We're always talking about that, the fear factor, and I'll be harping on with it until I'm pan-breed. But it's true. There's something out there that everybody likes doing, and don't conform to that natural box. It doesn't work. Then you're forcing it. Then you'll probably put what you want to do in the bin because you've not actually found what you want to do.
And even if it doesn't work out, you'd rather say, at least I gave it a go, and it wasn't to be, than thinking, well, I never gave it a chance, because I never intended to do weddings ever.
No.
I got asked to do one, then I got asked to do another one, and then I got asked to do another, and it just snowballed, and now I'm a full-time wedding photographer.
Excellent.
So from what you wouldn't think that you'd be doing, I always like to think and say the universe has a plan for you.
100%.
And it'll 100%. Take you might not be, you might not think that that's the direction that you want to go, but you're there for a reason. And I use this, well, I was thinking about this the other day, actually. In one of the holidays, I went to the sports centre. This isn't photography related, it's just another thing of like the universe taking you exactly where you need to be. And I'd forgotten my wristband for the gym, and I thought, I'm not going all the way home to the other side of town to go and get my wristband to come back. I'm just going to go and ask for a spare wristband for the day. And I went in, and when I got to the kiosk, there was a little boy who was trying to buy his lunch, and he was obviously in like a school club, and there wasn't enough money on his debit card for whatever reason, either like it hadn't been topped up or something had happened or whatever. And the staff were, well, why don't you try? And they were taking away like a piece of food one by one to see what money he actually had. And this boy would have been about 12, 13. And you could see him getting more and more upset. And I just couldn't. And I went, give the boy his lunch, and paid for it.
Well done,
and it wasn't like a thought of like, I'm doing this good deed, like good on me. It was, like, better record this so everyone can see what a good person I am. I mean, it feels a bit like I'm saying that now, but that's not the moral of the story. Is if I hadn't forgot my wristband that day and had to go to the cashier, I wouldn't have saw that boy, and the boy wouldn't have eaten, and he was playing football all day. The lad needed to eat.
I believe in all that stuff.
So like the world and the universe, everything happened that day to get me to that point where I made sure that that boy got something to eat, and I got the satisfaction of knowing that I'd helped this boy and he'd gotten his lunch, And I was buzzing. Went up to the gym, did one of the best runs I've ever done, and came downstairs. And
selfless acts, man. They don't,
they
don't cost you that much.
And I think it's the same in your journey for a career or your journey in anything. Where you are in your journey is sometimes hard, and you don't know why you're there, and you're thinking that there's no point in this. I shouldn't be doing this. This is clearly a sign that it shouldn't be. Maybe life is taking you in a different direction because you need to be there. Mm-hmm. You need to do this now so you can be where you need to be. So like I said, I never intended to do weddings, never ever, but now that I'm in it and this is the job that I have, I would not trade it in for anything. I adore doing weddings.
It's true though, and it's like we're at that age now where you think, oh, they people that used to say these things to us, and we're like, nah,
you don't know what you're talking about. Shut up.
You don't know. Now we're the people.
I know everything.
Aye, that's it. And now we're like, well, and you know, I sometimes if I meet these people, I do try and pay it back to them and say, you know, when you said this, or even if somebody like the earlier journey of mine, I honestly pay it all back. Like I have no qualms with my past, and is like just paying it back to them. And if something like today, if I'm going to be, you see my desk, it's covered in paints. I'm painting, I'm doing new products, but if something comes and I'm like, oh, by the way, you inspired that, I will always message and say, you inspired that. Mm-hmm. It's like, that's the whole point. Or Imagination Station Network's useless if I'm know who I say I am. Mm-hmm. That's the whole point, is showing, that's what I meant to say, leading for the front and showing the world how it's meant to be. I'm going to go back a wee bit there. I'll go back a wee bit. There's a bit there you said about and I totally agree, with the free stuff. You have to go out there. It's no free. Don't think it is free. Think it is homework and getting establishment. But how do you get a wee frog in my throat? How do you cope with the free stuff? Because we're inundated with stuff. Yeah.
I think I'm at a point in my career where I'm starting to. I was talking about this yesterday. Mm-hmm. I now know my worth a little bit now. And I think as somebody that's not necessarily, I think I come across as quite confident. Actually, internally, I am extremely anxious, and I have a very low self-worth, and people were able to haggle with me quite well, and you know, they were able to get the most out of me for the least monetary value. And as much as I would love to help everyone, and I try and keep my prices relatively within average bounds, because I've been brought up in poverty. I was on the poverty line. I grew up that way, and I know that it's difficult for people, especially at the minute. Times are tough. But also I can't sacrifice, because times are tough for us too. Like, I am still doing a massive amount of work. I've got a lot of expertise. I can't afford to give you 10 plus hours of work for nothing at this point of my career. So I find it very difficult when it's, oh, but we only want this. It's like, but that's still 8 hours of work on my end. So I think it's a really hard one to navigate, and it's totally different for everyone, and it's depending on your situation and how you hold yourself and how you want to come across. But yeah, please don't ask artists to work for free.
I was just about to say there, you know,
it's not fair.
B hit the nail on the head there. It's like, know your worth.
Yeah.
We didn't just wake up and get to here. You know, there was hard work, there was graft, there was turmoil, there was being skin, and like, I'm a council scheme boy. I openly admit it. I know where I come from.
Yeah.
And that's where the hard work comes from, and that's where the ethics come from. Like, to understand the journey, just have a wee bit of respect for the people, man. That's the whole point. Like, we're respecting yous, and you respect us.
We will help you as much as we can within our limits, but also the understanding of as well. I think a lot of people in my job, I don't know about yours, but a lot of people in my job think, oh, you've just got a camera.
You're just clicking a button.
You're just clicking a button. But there's so much more that goes into that. I mean, me and my husband joke all the time. Like, he says, oh, you just go and click a button, and he's a paramedic, and I say, well, you just drive a glorified taxi. So like, we joke about it, but really, like, you know, there's so much more. So like, for me, it's like, you've got your public liability insurance, you've got your software that you use, you've got your camera, you've got your like your equipment insurance. You've got any programs that subscriptions that you need to use. You're paying your travel, your hours that you spend in
and
post.
your lunch.
Your
wedding
lunch.
photographers get.
But well, I'm actually very, very lucky. The majority of my couples feed me.
Brilliant.
And I love you.
Food.
You see when you get an email and it's like, this is the menu, pick what you want. I'm like, yes.
I have seen that. Like, I have heard a lot of horror stories. Like, and there was one guy who I'd seen. Again, I'm going off on a mad whim here, but he was told he wasn't getting his. He'd been there taking photos all day.
Yeah.
So he's like self-employed. That's that. He just deleted in front of them and just that was it. He walked out.
Oh my god! I mean,
feed your photographers.
Feed your photographer.
Feed them. They need fed.
Feed. Yeah, especially if they're there all day. Please feed us.
You can imagine
really
what that would be like for him. Spent all day there, and then all of a sudden.
I mean, I'm one of the photographers that I don't mind. I just like to know in advance, because if I'm not getting fed, then I'll go and take an hour break. Yeah. Like I'm gonna go off and I'm gonna find something to eat, or I know to bring a pack with me that's gonna get warm and stuffy in the car. Like
sweaty sandwich.
I don't want a soggy sandwich. I'd much rather have one of, like, even just one course, or the kids meal. Give me the chicken nuggets. I don't mind. Just please.
I think so. It is for you, like, you think, and I get it. Wedding people, you're on a budget and stuff. But to me, it just seems like the right thing to do. But it just shows everybody's the same. Maybe they don't want the wedding person there doing that.
But I tell you what, a lot of venues and a lot of other vendors are fantastic. So if it's a lot of the venues will make sure that I am watered throughout the day. They won't charge me for drinks. A lot of venues or outside caterers, if I'm not included in the numbers, they'll give me what's left over when they're finished. Brilliant. Like, all the vendors there are there to help each other out. As much as, like we were saying before, I've got a solo job. In my part of it, it's solo, but in terms of the wedding industry and like wedding vendors in general, we're all working together. We've got one goal, and it's to do the best for the couple and to make their day spectacular. So really, on a wedding day itself, it's really collaborative, especially if I'm working with a videographer or content creators, because that's a big thing in the wedding industry now, is massive. Content creators. Huge, so working alongside them as well, and it's really collaborative. And Marshall Meadows is a venue that I'm at a lot, and I love them to bits. They're like, they've become such good friends now because I'm there so often.
I'm coming to review Marshall Meadows, actually. That's on my list.
I've told them that I'm moving in August because I've got a wedding every other day for 2 weeks.
And next door, is it Edinham House? We're going to go and review the rooms in there because they've got big hand tub things, big baths. So Edinham House sees this, or Marshall Meadows, hey, hook me up, I'll come. My reviews are wild, mine. But I'm brutally honest.
No, I love them in there. Absolutely love them in there. So if you want to get married and you're looking for a local venue, Marshall Meadows are very, very, very good. They put me out to everyone. The grounds are lovely as well.
And you get a short walk if you want a wee couple of pictures to the seaside in the background, which is lovely. It's been amazing having you on. I feel as if we're just getting started, man, and now we're finished. But so is there anything you would like to say to inspire future photographers or future bees out there? If there's anything that you think that you would need to tell them,
you can do it. You absolutely can do it. You might need a couple of years of just life experience to get there, but you've got a dream. You're good at it. Don't let you tell you that you're not. Let's put other people out of the equation. Don't let yourself tell yourself that you're not good enough, because you are. And one day, 14-year-old you is going to be really, really proud of 30-year-old you. They're going to not believe that you've actually done it.
That's true. I'll give you one before we go. So find yourself your photography bra, that bit that will support you. You need that. You need take as many people who are offering to help. That's what I call it. Like, for us, it's the Jaguar 82 bra. They'll support you. That's what you need, man. You need the people that will be there.
Absolutely. Network.
On the journey,
follow other photographers. You will get a good vibe for, especially photographers in your local area as well. Really get on board with them, chat away with them.
Because they're not all your enemy, man. It's like,
we're not, and I do think there are certain photographers that are. Don't get me wrong. There are people in the community that are like that, and that's just a course of life, to be honest. Like, you got in every department of life, you're gonna have people that are against you and in competition with you. But for the majority, I found, luckily, that it's a really welcoming community. We're all there to help each other. There's room for all of us. Everyone's style's different. Get in there, learn, help each other. Me and my photographer friends are always on the text to each other being like, if I send you this picture, can you figure out what's going on with this, please? And then send it away, and then they'll fix it and send it going, how did you not see that? You know, it's a really...
Float each other, don't sink each other.
Just, network. Find where you can go in and help in.
Network's
do
important,
projects.
man. It's important. Like, no matter how far along you are, there'll be somebody that needs your help because you'll need your help as well.
It's like with Nicole. I desperately need a second shooter for that wedding because it's going to be a huge wedding, and I know Nicole really well, and she wants experience, and she's fab at what she does. So as much as you could say I'm helping her get experience and get portfolio, actually on that wedding day she's doing me a massive favour.
See, that's how it works, man.
So
well done, Nicole, as well. Well done, buddy. So it is the end. Like I say, it's been great. It's not very often I get a calm day. I don't know what it is. You've just got that aura about yourself. You've got a good soul, man, and you've got good energy. It's nice to have you on the show, and it's nice to be able to compliment what you do, because it's a big job you do.
Thank you.
And if you don't hear it any time in the near future, Jagat 82, we're proud of you, because it's nice to see you flourish and be on your journey.
Thank you.
You now need to put your hand inside her head and
pick
one out, and then tell us all your number.
7. That's my favourite number.
Is it?
It is.
Is it really?
7.
Number 7. Again, once we get to the number 10 interview, we'll tell you what that's for. But thank you. It's part of something. So thank you very much, everyone, for listening. As I said, if you've not heard your story yet, you've not heard your inspiring story, stay with us. You will hear it before we finish up. And if anybody who knows me, we're only just getting started, so hang fire. As always, please head over to jagar82.com. That's where we sell our products, or on any of the social media, TikTok, blah 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 blah. But also on Kerr Photography as well, on all the social medias. We'll tag it in. But thank you very much for listening, and we'll have another show. We'll have another show soon. I was about to say so soon. But have a great day, and remember, if you do anything, man, do anything today, be kind to yourself. Alright?
I love that.
Be kind to yourself. See you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.